automatic. Bye, Habit. Commissioner Lawrence,
Here.
Commissioner Leyland,
Present.
Commissioner Locke. Here. Chair Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Howie,
Present.
Commissioner Barrera,
Present.
Commissioner Marquetti,
Here.
and Commissioner Lee.
Here.
All right, everybody is here. Good afternoon. I'm gonna open the floor for public comment. Before I do, we're not gonna interact with you. When we do public comment, we don't have any back and forth. We do not have any back and forth. If there's something that you feel very, very strongly with, you're gonna have to get us afterwards. Then you only get one time in 3 minutes. With that said, the floor is now open.
Well, my name is Vicki Vaughn. I'm the chairperson for the Department of Health and Human Services and Cass County Medical Care Facility.
I am puzzled, confused, and still in shock that Diane Seifert was not reappointed to the DHHS/Medical Care Facility Board. I have been on these two boards representing one, the state for DHHS, and the other for the county for the medical care facility. Over 20 years I have been on these boards, and this is extremely unusual. If a board member was up for reappointment, they would receive either a phone call or a letter in the mail. This has been protocol in the past, definitely lack of communication in this case. Diane informed a county commissioner on or around October 20th that she would love to be reappointed because her term runs out October 31st. As board chair, I was not notified until after the appointment committee made their decision. To me and Diane, this is a slap in the face. I hope that this is not what is to be expected in the future. Granted, we know that many of you are new appointments to the board, but we hope in the future that the chairperson would be contacted. I recall someone saying to ensure openness and transparency, but not in this case. Our third board member that is not here tonight because is state appointed board member opted out. Because one, he has family and friends coming in out of state. Two, he does not think it is appropriate for him to comment on the Board of Commissioners process. Third, it would be inappropriate to comment on local matters under the Board of Commissioners domain. Plus, he stridently objected to any employee from the medical care facility having any involvement or opinion how the board selects a new member. The First Amendment is freedom of speech. In the past, we have had employees scared to come forward in fear of losing their jobs. We will not stand for this again. I wish this was a regular meeting and we were on the agenda for questions and answers. Public comment is just someone's opinion or a sounding board. I have printed out.
Hold on. Anybody have any objection to her continue? How long you got to go? Because that's 3 minutes.
Excuse me?
How long do you have to go? Because that's 3 minutes.
How long do I have?
You had 3 minutes. So how long do you have to go?
No, I just have
That's a lot.
a handout
Okay.
for duties and regulations, and was going to present Diane.
Well, she can go after you. So anybody have any objection with her coming up and finishing off what she's doing on the board?
You're almost done, aren't you, Vicki?
Go
Good?
ahead, yeah.
Okay, I can hand out these?
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
It may take me a minute.
You're good.
I'll get them. We can pass them around.
Yeah, get them and pass it around.
I got extras in there, I'll just come back and get them.
I'll go ahead and start.
And we start over with you, Ms. Seifert.
Yep. Okay, as my board reappointment was rejected by the appointment committee of the BOC, I will be stepping off the Cass Medical and DHHS boards at the end of the year. With 20 years of not-for-profit board experience in this community, I know how hard it is to recruit and maintain good board members and volunteers. People willing to come to the table, roll up their sleeves, and work towards the shared mission of that organization. That is why I am very perplexed and disappointed that my board reappointment was rejected when I knew I was fulfilling all board responsibilities, making the time commitment, and had a great rapport with the staff and admin at both facilities. I was looking forward to working with the new director at DHHS, as well as remaining on the Cass Medical Board, a 7-year running, 5-star facility with an incredible vision for this community on their 200-acre complex. Saying that I am disappointed that I will no longer be part of that vision is an understatement. To eliminate an existing 3-year board member in favor of someone with no experience makes no sense, especially when there is a new director at DHHS and we are still searching for a new administrator at Cass Medical. Additionally, no one from the BOC ever reached out to me and offered an explanation why my appointment failed. Was there an opportunity to interview that we missed? Has the qualifications changed? Has the process changed? I received no explanation from anyone on the BOC, and I feel behind the scenes my reappointment was undermined. Everyone's plate is full, and to carve out time to give back to the community is challenging. When board members or volunteers are made to feel that their contributions are not needed nor welcome, there is no incentive to participate in seeing this community grow. That being said, this was my first county board appointed position, and it will be my last. I will never apply for another board position that reports into the BOC and treats their board members in this fashion.
Turn that thing off, so don't scare us. Anybody else? All right, hearing none, the floor is now closed. We can skip all the way down to number 8, right?
Still
So,
have to approve the agenda.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry.
I move we approve the agenda as presented. Second.
There it is. Motion on the floor and support. Is there any discussion? Thanks, RJ. That show was gonna skip over that. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we can skip down to new business. Under Alpha, M 184-23. It's a motion to appoint Jennifer Renfro to the Department of Human Services Board to a term expiring October 31st, 2026. I'm at the pleasure of the board.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
Have a motion on the floor and support. I'm assuming we're gonna have some discussion on that. Any discussion on it?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first of all, I am new to this process, but I don't understand why a special meeting was called for this when there's other appointments. You know, why wasn't this put in with the regular appointments? Why is it taken out as special? And I guess the process of interviewing candidates, you know, why wasn't Diane interviewed again? And why wasn't she given a reason? I don't think that's fair. I think she should have been given the opportunity to have that conversation as to why the board did not want her on the medical care facility again. I think we owe that to her. She's very well qualified. She's got extensive medical background. She knows Medicaid, Medicare, and that's what the facility needs. She's been at the facility for 3 years. And nothing against Jen, but I don't know if this would be a conflict of interest. Do you do auditing or do any money for them? You know, I understand there's 3 board members. Couldn't you have more board members? And maybe if you have the time to be on the board, maybe you would have the time to oversee, you know, or be a board member with them. But for the life of me, I don't understand, and with speaking directly with Diane and some other people, I just feel that, you know, Diane is a good person, her heart's in the right place, she's got the experience. And I don't understand why
Well,
she wasn't even interviewed.
I can answer the first question, I believe, and Matt might help me out or correct me. But since, yeah, that's where it is? Okay, so there's that question. I called Diane and talked to her myself and asked her, like, hey, you know, your appointment's over. I think it was the 20th, and that's what Vicky had said up there, that she had contact. That was me. So I did call her, and I was all about reappointing until I just got threatened here, you know, because that was kind of, not threatened as in physical violence and all that, but, you know, after Diane talked there, you know, that's hostility after, you know, you just didn't get appointed. That just changed my whole point of view. You know, I will never get, and I will, okay, if that's how you feel, you know, maybe the board did make the right decision.
Well, and I can tell you that with the way the special meeting happened, that was because all the appointments that are on the committee of the whole agenda had come from the prior meeting. This meeting happened after that, so the agenda had come out, I think, before we had this squared away. So we had to go about it a little different process. And also, the other thing is that since the appointment expired in October, these appointments won't be adopted until the first meeting in November. Be able to have it in time for the meeting to be able to have somebody in place before the next DHS medical care meeting would happen, it would have to be a special meeting where we could have the vote. I mean, part of that's just the committee of the whole process the way it is now. So it really wasn't anything other than just the timing.
I thought there was an email from you that said that this was decided on November 2nd.
Yeah, I think it was November, I think you're right, actually, it was November 3rd.
Yeah, it was November 2nd.
The
So
main point
there was
the
plenty of
timing.
time.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, with now that I'm thinking back, the committee of the whole process would not have had the appointment done before the next regular meeting in November, or in December. So you wouldn't have been able to have, the next medical care board meeting, I think, or DHS meeting is Monday, I believe. You wouldn't be able to have had somebody appointed in time to be able to attend that meeting if you didn't have a special meeting tonight. Because we don't obviously make decisions at the committee of the whole. So that's really the only purpose. Yeah, and the number of the state, actually, the state law is what determines the number of people. The county cannot just add additional members to the board. It's not.
Okay.
It's not within the purview of the board to do that.
If Jen can't be on the board, she could oversee from time to time. Do audits. Wasn't there Woodlands? Didn't you oversee Woodlands?
But we don't have any, there's no, like, I guess Woodlands and medical care, like, they'd be component units of the county, but there's no direct relationship. Like, we couldn't go and say, we're gonna audit the books today. I mean, that's not how that would work. You know, they have their own audit firm. I mean, they do report back to the county and we review those year-end reports, but you know, when you start talking about overseeing, I mean, that's the function of the DHS and medical care board, is to oversee the facility. So there really isn't the only other mechanism to oversee would be the board of commissioners and that board directly.
Anybody else?
I agree with Mary.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think out of respect for Diane, I think that there should have been some explanation to her of why she wasn't selected. I think just out of respect. And as far as her voice getting a little bit angered there, I think it was more out of not anger, but just I had a word in my head and now I lost it.
Frustration?
But anyhow, and I still think out of respect, we owe her an explanation of why that she wasn't appointed.
Yeah, I had to share some of the concerns that Diane brought forth, even though we've never spoke before. Just some of the things that you guys have brought out just concern me about the process and making sure that we're doing things correctly. This is not a thing either between the two individuals in the room, but more or less on how we conduct ourselves. And so I'm a little bit just questioning that. And then the other part was you brought up conflict of interest. I want to make sure that that's something that's not going to be an issue here. I don't really understand the role particularly with finance in that board, but I just want to make sure that there's not going to be
She's
any
sitting on that
overlap.
board as a member of the public, not as the finance director of the county.
But her role here in the county doesn't conflict with the role.
They have separate.
There's no
it's a
overlap.
Separate entity.
They have 170 employees with a $20 million budget, pretty much similar to the county.
Yeah, I just have a few concerns about the facility, because my dad's in the facility, and there's some much needed updates. We have a nightstand that has 3 drawers, 1 drawer works. The light above his bed doesn't have a string so he can turn it on. They don't, that's just, so I'm just kind of confused why none of those things have been addressed before with the boards.
My only point is we hold the right to appoint 2 people to the 3-member board. They're operating currently with a CEO, which their own specific bylaws say that the administrator shall work as the CEO. They're paying a consultant to sign paperwork working as the administrator, and then they've got a financial company helping with the finances. So they're spending extra money getting these 2 things accomplished. And they don't need to be spending that same amount of money if they have people on staff to do it.
And with that being said, okay, but it can be done in a respectful, mindful manner with people.
Yes.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna call point of order to the question because she spoke twice on it already.
All right. So what are we doing? Everybody want to vote on it?
We have to vote on it.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, you're right. All right. No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Opposed?
We got 3 to 4. The motion passes. All right. This meeting is adjourned.
3 to 4.